Welcome, yogis. Thank you for taking time in your day to join me to share in a practice. Today's practice, some props that you may want to have available to you depending on how you're feeling in your hips. You may want to have a couple of blocks, a blanket, maybe a yoga bolster. If you don't have a yoga bolster, you can use some pillows. Ideally, we don't want a pillow that's too fluffy. You want to feel very well supported. That's why they made the yoga bolsters. But you can create one by taking a pillow and wrapping it tightly with a blanket is an alternative to that. Today's practice, we'll be going through a lot of connection with opening up and releasing through the hips. I will be taking you through and guiding you into pigeon pose, which is generally a pose I much prefer to teach in person in a classroom because everybody's hips are a little bit different and the knees as well. So it's one that is optimally practiced with an instructor there to be able to help you get set up appropriately with your props. But by all means, I'm going to guide you as best I can to help support you getting into and out of the pose with this practice today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please go ahead and shoot me a message, shoot me an email, and I'll do my best to try and support you as much as I can for this practice today. So go ahead and grab an essential oil, whatever one you have that invokes a feeling of pleasure when you take a deep breath of it. For me personally, I absolutely love the oil neroli. Neroli has a very spring scent to it. It feels very fresh, it feels very soothing, and it's very pleasurable when I take an inhalation of it. It's a beautiful aroma. It comes from the orange blossoms. But you can select one that you have available that you really enjoy the aroma of. Young Living's neroli is fairly an expensive oil. It's an investment, but I can attest it's absolutely worth every penny of it because I absolutely love the aroma of it. So, getting started today, go ahead and open up your left palm to receive a drop of oil and place a drop into your left palm. And then circling those palms together. Make sure you're in a nice comfortable seat. So if you're not feeling comfortable in your hips, support your sit bones as best you can, maybe sitting on top of a block or your makeshift yoga bolster so you feel comfy in your lower body. And then get the oil distributed across your palms. And then cupping the palms together, making them like an open book. So having your pinkies together in the edges of your palms, just hold it at about your heart space. And then just close the eyes here and start to just feel in to your body. Let that focus shift from being outward to inward. And just feel down into your hips, maybe wiggling them from side to side and just really anchoring your energy down here into the earth. Feel your way to awareness of the shoulders, feeling the shoulders stacking over those hips. Maybe give them a couple of rolls and loosen and soften them. And then feel the ears relaxing over the shoulders, a gentle lift through the crown of the head. And enjoy the pleasure of each breath, connecting with this aroma that you chose to work with for your practice today. Let the belly relax as you inhale. And let yourself soften as you exhale, really settling down into this space, embracing the present moment with your full attention and awareness, just of your body, of your breath, of this oil, letting the thoughts start to relax and slow down. And as you move into this deeper connection with yourself and your breath, I want to use your mind's eye, your imagination, to picture yourself inhaling a white light, following that white light with your inhalation all the way down the spine, all the way down to the tailbone. And as you exhale, feel that exhalation and follow that white light from the base of the spine all the way back up through and out the nose. Inhaling, drawing in that white light. And exhaling out. Starting to feel your energy field shifting to feel lighter, to feel spacious, to feel illuminated. And then start to see this white light radiating from your midline, from your center, out into the body, surrounding the body, filling up your energy field, just lightening the thoughts, lightening the sensations in the body, feeling uplifted, joyous, pleasurable. Maybe you notice the corners of the mouth turn upward as you fully embrace the lightness, the possibility of this moment to just shift it. Simply focusing on your breath, your imagination, and this visualization of white light. And from this space, pressing the palms together, sealing that white light energy into your midline and all around your energy field. Letting thumb knuckles touch the sternum, gently lift the sternum towards the thumb knuckles. Invite this white light, this lightened space to carry through your practice and amplify it with your practice today. And send it out to all those in need of lightening up their energy, feeling spacious, joyous, pleasurable, embracing this here, now, present moment. And take a breath in together, and breath out. And from here we'll be shifting into crocodile pose. So for that you'll be transitioning yourself to come face down onto your mat. You want to have the palms stacked one on top of another. You may want to have your blanket handy because you can lay the blanket then over the tops of your palms to serve as a cushion for your forehead. But stack one palm on top of the other. Separate the elbows nice and wide. Take your toes and bring them out to the outer edges of your mat with the toes turned out. And just lift one leg at a time to create a little space in the front of the hip. And then from here, just go ahead and relax the forehead down to the back of the palms. Invite the breath to travel down into the belly. Feel the low back lift and expand as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel a softening, rippling out from the belly, through the back, through the shoulders, through the arms. Just keeping the breath nice and slow, focusing on every inhalation and each exhalation, melting deeper into the floor. Scanning the body and softening through the toes, the feet, the ankles. Relaxing through the calves, the back of the knees and the thighs. Softening all of the back muscles. Truly relaxing the shoulders, maybe noticing if there's a little more space at this point to broaden the elbows a little bit wider and soften the heart even closer to the floor. Taking 2 more breaths here, long and slow. Just easing into this moment, easing into the practice today. And then from here, keeping everything as it is. So your forehead is resting on the palms. My head is lifted just so I'm not yelling into this microphone right now. So go ahead from here with the forehead staying relaxed, everything staying as it is, except you might want to take your right leg and walk it into the left a couple inches and turn the top of the foot to the floor now. And then bend that left knee and draw it out to the side towards your left elbow. So everything's staying the same, just the left leg is moving now, and we're going to create a little space into our left hip, into our left low back. And so now just making that simple transition with the leg, find yourself connecting back to the breath, scanning through the body and softening deeply, letting everything melt into the earth. Now bringing awareness to the inner thigh. Find a lengthening all the way out into the knee. And every exhale, just find a little more space to let go and soften into the pose. Taking one more breath here. And then go ahead and extend the left leg back out onto the mat. Top of the foot is down towards the mat. And then now transition the right leg out to the side, pulling the right knee towards the right elbow. Staying soft, forehead is connected to the back of your palms. Checking in to notice if just moving the leg caused any tension in the shoulders or the neck, and just let it go, let it soften. Feel the right inner thigh melting, finding length as the knee shifts away from the body, creating more space. And just letting that right hip melt down. Letting the right side of the low back release. One more breath. And then go ahead and extend the right leg back out onto the mat. And then now hug the toes together, hug the heels together. Press into the tops of the feet. Adjust your pubic bone to push your pubic bone down towards the mat. And then bring yourself up onto your elbows now. And you want to find the elbows stacked underneath the shoulders. We're coming into a Sphinx pose. So go ahead and roll the shoulders back and down. Press through the elbows, through the forearms, into the palms. And so you're lifting the torso up and then drawing those shoulders back and lengthening the heart forward, lifting through the crown of the head. Take a breath in, and breath out. Soften the heart forward. Feel the back body engage to help push that heart forward. So you're creating a little bit of traction with your forearms. So I'm pulling the forearms back and dragging the heart center forward. So feel if you can connect with that traction sensation. So it may look like I'm not doing anything here, but I'm working. I feel my back muscles engaged, the shoulders. I feel very open in my heart here. Tops of feet are pressing into the floor. I'm gluing the inner thighs, finding that full body awareness in Sphinx. Take another inhale. And exhale. And then soften the shoulders. And then slide the hands back now so they're underneath the shoulders. Press yourself up to peel off the mat. Separate the knees wide. Big toes come to touch. Then you're going to sit back the hips towards the heels, finding Balasana, child's pose. Walking the arms out nice and long. You may need to take some additional prop support like a blanket or a pillow and lay it across your calves and sit your bum down onto that so that you feel like you can connect the bum to something supportive, or then you can lengthen out the torso, lengthen out the arms. Forehead is going to relax to the mat, but if that's uncomfortable, you can also place a yoga block or some tall books underneath your forehead. Letting the hips be heavy towards those heels. Breathing into the belly, finding space in the low back, space in the shoulders, softening that heart. And one more breath here. And then slowly prop up onto those fingertips and walk your way all the way to the left. Find extension through the right side of the body. Relax the head and the neck down. And breathing space into the right side body now. Keeping the hips right where they are. And one more breath here. And then prop up on those fingertips. Walk your way through center. And then all the way over to the right. Extending out through the left arm. Relax the head and the neck down. Hips stay where they are. And surrendering here. Feeling all that space in the left side body. And then walk your way back to center. Arms extend long, fingertips reaching away, head and neck fully relaxed here. Maybe noticing some new space after stretching each of the side bodies. And then with your next inhale, invite the body to float up now, finding a tabletop position. So knees are stacked underneath those hips. Wrists are aligned underneath those shoulders. We're going to be moving through some rounds of cat-cow, so letting the belly drop, the gaze lifts, the tail lifts. Inhale here. Exhale, pull the navel center in and up. Press the floor away, deeply round the spine. Inhale, let the belly drop down, the tail lifts. Even press in to the outer edges of the knees. So feel even your sit bones separate apart as you lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. And then exhale, round everything. Pull the pelvic floor in and up. And then inhale, come forward. So go ahead and move at your own pace. You can take a couple more rounds of just going back and forth with cat and cow. And then if you'd like, you can take some organic movements that feel good to you. So maybe taking some belly rolls here, barrel rolls. Maybe wiggling the hips from side to side, just whatever feels pleasurable to wake up your body, to get the cobwebs off, to just feel like you're getting a good energy flow. Maybe rolling out the shoulders, so whatever is comfortable for you here. Take a couple more breaths, do whatever organic movements feel nice, just checking things out. Then we're going to meet back in center. Maintain a neutral spine here. So you're reaching out through the crown of the head. You're reaching back through the tail. And now we're simply going to inhale into the belly. Let the belly relax. And then when you exhale, pull the belly button in and up so you feel the activation of your abdominals here, supporting a nice neutral spine. Inhale into the belly. Let the belly relax. Exhale, pull the navel center in and up. Even lift the pelvic floor if you have that awareness and activation there to connect the two. Inhale into the belly. Let everything relax. Exhale, pull the navel center in and up. Activate the pelvic floor. Now from here, we're going to extend the right leg back, keeping that nice active core. Press into the ball of that right foot and press back through that right heel. Feel a stretch all the way down the right leg. Take an inhale and exhale. Then go ahead and elevate the right leg so it's parallel to the earth. Hips are nice and square, core is strong. Elevate the left arm now nice and long. Left thumb is towards the ceiling, making one long line of energy, pressing back through the heel, reaching through the fingertips. Take an inhale. Exhale, you're going to pull the elbow to the knee. Press the elbow into the knee and the knee into the elbow. Inhale, expand yourself long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, open up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, open up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, open up. Exhale, elbow to knee. This time, inhale, open up. And then now place the left hand down, but leave the right leg lifted. I'm going to rotate this way on my mat so you can see better. So you're going to now take that right leg, bring it out to the side. So turn the toes to the right, and then pull that right leg so it's in line with that right hip as best you can, and then place that right foot down on the mat. You're pressing into the outer edge of that right foot. And then place the top of that left foot down onto the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, you're going to bring the right hand down towards the right leg, stretch up and over through those left fingertips. Inhale, coming back up to center. Exhale, left hand's going to come down to the floor, and then you're going to elevate the right leg. Right fingertips are reaching high. Right toes are flexed to nose, so you're getting a modified side plank here. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, stretch up and over that right leg. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, left hand to the mat. Reach up through those right fingertips. Flex right toes towards nose. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, stretch up and over that right leg. So my right toes are facing forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, hand to the mat. Elevate that right leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, left hand to the mat. Lifting that right leg, reach up high through those right fingertips. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, now place the hands down in front of you and challenge yourself with the strength of that right hip. Lift the right leg back up and float it back behind and come back into your tabletop position. Go ahead and take some movements here. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Meeting back in center with that neutral spine. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, pull the navel center in and up. Engage the pelvic floor. Extend the left leg behind you. Press back through that left heel. A nice long and lengthened left leg. Find your balance here. Find that stability in your core. Elevate the left leg off the mat and then reach the right arm long, right thumb towards the ceiling. Press back through that left heel. Reach out through those right fingertips. Take an inhale. Exhale, round everything to center. Press elbow into knee, knee into elbow. Inhale to open up. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale to open up. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, open up. Exhale to hug it in. Inhale, open up. Keep that left leg lifted. Lower the right palm down. Turn the left toes out to the side. Float the left leg in line with that left hip. And then place the foot down. Really press down to the outer edge of that foot. And then inhale, lift yourself up. Fingertips up nice and high. Exhale, left arm towards the left leg. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale, right arm down. I'm going to hit the wall here. I got to turn myself for you guys. Right arm down. Elevate that left leg, left fingertips high. Inhale, coming up to center. Exhale, up and over that left leg. Inhale to center. Exhale, right palm to the earth, lifting that left leg. Inhale, back to center. And moving back and forth with the breath. Waking up the obliques on that left side, finding a nice stretch all the way through the right side. Just getting that lateral awareness of our bodies. So important with how much we move things anteriorly and posteriorly most of the time, to focus on this lateral strength for balance. And last one, coming up and down, and then meeting back in center. Bring the fingertips back down to the mat. Whoops, your legs out to the side, and then elevate that left leg straight up using that hip strength. Bring it back behind you, lower back down into your tabletop. Go ahead and curl the toes underneath you, and it's like someone has your tail and is pulling you up and back to glide into your down dog. Press through all 10 fingers, lengthen out those arms, melt the heart center down. Knees can be soft. You can work on bending one knee, extending the other, alternating back and forth. Just pedaling out, warming up those legs, making space for your practice. And then work through lengthening the legs or keeping the knees slightly soft, lifting that tail nice and high, melting the heart center down. Take a breath in, breath out. Ground down into that left foot, lift the right heel up off the mat, bend that right knee, hug it in tight to the chest as you come forward into a plank pose. And then plant that right foot towards the right palm. You can take a moment to adjust it into place. Work to square those hips, lower the left knee down, roll the shoulders back and down, and then send the hips forward and lift and lengthen up through the crown of the head, lift through the heart. Top of that left foot can come down to the mat. Work to press a little energy into that right foot to create a little bit of that traction feeling to draw the hips forward and lift up through the crown of the head a little more. Take an inhale and exhale. One more breath in and breath out. Now go ahead and soften the hips back slightly. Bring the right hand to the inside of that right foot and then walk the right foot over to the edge of your mat. And then shift the right hand so now it's underneath the right shoulder. Now invite the outside of the right foot to roll open onto the mat. So now I'm letting my hips come forward as the right knee relaxes open to the right and the instep of my foot is off of the mat. Shoulders are back and down. And then now there's some options here. So you can keep the hips relaxed down, you can be up on your palms. If it feels okay for you and the space is available, you can lower down onto your forearms. And just getting into the hips here in this lizard pose. Or if you'd like, you can be up on your palms and you can curl the back toes and lift the back leg. So just see what calls to you today for your practice, for getting into your hips. And then just breathe into that space. So working on letting this right knee relax open to the right. So feeling space in the right inner thigh. You're resting on the outer edge of that right foot. One more breath. And then slowly, we'll all meet with our palms on the mat. Hug the right knee towards the right shoulder, and then bring the right hand back around. So now it's on the outside of the right foot, and then just kind of wiggle that foot in so now it's back in alignment in the center of the body. And then curl the left toes, elevate that left leg, take an inhale. Exhale, step that right foot back, right next to the left, being in a plank pose here. Shoulders are back and down, reach out through the crown of the head, reach back through those heels, breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Elevate those hips up and back, lengthen out those arms, relax the heart. Adjust the feet so they're hip distance apart. Take a couple breaths and movements, whatever you need in your down dog. Then grounding down into that right leg, lift the left leg up off the mat, bend that left knee, shift forward into your plank, hugging that left knee towards the chest, and then planting that left foot close to the left palm. Lowering that right knee down, top of the foot comes to the mat. Anchor this left foot into the earth. You want the knee stacked over the ankle. Roll the shoulders back and down, and then start to send the hips forward. You can prop up onto fingertips. If you do have your blocks available, blocks can go underneath your palms to help with lifting up the torso here. This makes it a little bit more comfortable for you. Top of that right foot's down. And just breathing space in the front of that right hip. Every exhale, ease into some space. Let something go. Every inhale, think about drawing some length into the heart, letting your heart lead the way and be your guide. Always breathing into the heart. Shifting our focus out of our busy minds that get distracted with thoughts. And then now go ahead, start to soften the hips back slightly. We're going to transition into that lizard pose. So bringing the left hand around to the inside of the left foot. Walk the left foot towards the edge of their mat. And then position the left hand underneath the left shoulder. Let the left knee relax and roll open so you're resting on the outside of that left foot. And then top of that right foot still down. We're letting the hips relax down here. Or if you like, you can lower down onto those forearms. Or you can curl the back toes and elevate the right leg up off of the mat. So whatever serves your hips today and your energy level. And then breathing into this space, creating softening, relaxation, and ease. Using the breath. Using our heart to trust that we're here to nurture our bodies, that they're safe. We're caring for them and tending to them. 2 more breaths, long and slow. And then slowly we're going to meet back on the palms. Draw that left knee towards the left shoulder. Take the left hand back around the outside of the left foot and kind of wiggle that left foot more in line with the center of the body. Curl the right toes underneath you. Elevate the right leg off the mat and then step the left foot back next to the right, meeting in your plank pose for 5 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And then go ahead and elevate the hips up nice and high. Find your down dog. Pedal out those legs. Let it all go. Relax the heart towards the middle of your mat. Find some space in the back body. Find some softening in the heart. Make sure your hands are spread open nice and wide. And then at the bottom of your next exhale, start to walk the feet forward, keeping them nice and wide on the mat. So feet are towards the edges of the mat, hanging out in a ragdoll here. So knees can deeply soften if you'd like. Grab for opposite elbow, relax the head and neck. Let the torso just drape over the legs. Feel a beautiful stretch in the back. You can shake the head yes, shake the head no. Just letting the head just dangle for a change. One more breath. And then slowly release those elbows, heel toe the feet together now. Straighten the legs, and then bring the hands to the shins. Roll the shoulders back and down. Reach out through the crown of the head. Reach back through the tail, coming into a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. Ground down into those feet. Inhale, press into the feet and rise all the way up, sweeping the palms overhead. Palms meet, and then lower down to the heart space. And then stepping towards the top of your mat. If you're not there already, I'm going to adjust mine because it wiggles closer and closer to the wall so I get moving on it. So stepping towards the top of the mat, we're going to go through a few just basic sun salutation flows. Second, got wires coming out of me here. So standing here at the top of your mat, shoulders are back and down, palms are open to either side. Shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders, lifting through the crown of the head in Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the palms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Reach out through the crown, reach back through the tail. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the palms. Step back into a plank position. Nice strong plank. Take an inhale here, and depending on where you are with your level of practice, either shifting forward on the toes and lowering down for chaturanga, or lowering the knees to the mat, softening the elbows back, heart reaches forward, and then come down for your chaturanga. And tops of feet come to the floor, glue the inner thighs, and either scooping the heart up, just coming into a baby cobra, feeling that traction with the hands, heart shining forward, or drawing those shoulders down and back, pressing into the palms, and lifting yourself into your up dog. So it depends on where you're at with your practice and what feels right for you. And then softening the knees, gliding the hips back, curl the toes, and then find your down dog. Take a breath in. Breath out. Shift the gaze between the palms. Step or hop the feet up towards those hands. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Ground out into those feet. Inhale, rise up all the way. Sweep the palms up overhead. Palms meet, and then lower down to the heart space. And begin again. Inhale, sweep the palms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to find that halfway lift. Really pressing the legs away to make that spine nice and long, core strong. Exhale, forward fold. Step back into your plank. Lower those knees or shift forward on those toes to come down for your chaturanga. Nice strong core, elbows reaching back, heart forward. Shoulders back and down, scooping the heart up, either finding your baby cobra or lifting the legs off the floor, finding your up dog. And then all of us will find our way back into our down dog. Tailbone lifting nice and high, heart melting towards the middle of your mat. Take an inhale. And exhale. Shift the gaze towards the top of the mat. Either step or float the feet up towards those palms. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Ground down into those feet. Inhale, rise up all the way, sweeping the palms up high overhead. Anchor together and pull that energy into your heart. Now I'll move through a sun salutation B with a couple of modifications depending on where you're at with your body and your level of practice today. So stepping towards the top of the mat, thumbs at the heart, shoulders back and down. Now imagine someone's pulling a chair out behind you. You're going to go ahead and grab a seat. So some of us may want to keep our thumbs at our heart center here. You're reaching the tailbone back, but you're not sticking the butt back. So tailbone is reaching down towards the earth. Pubic bone's drawing up. You feel nice and strong in your lower abdominals. And you're light in your toes, weights in your heels here for your chair pose. You may have it available to you to elevate the arms up overhead for the full expression of chair. Take an inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs and forward fold. Inhale to find your halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back into your plank. Come down and lower through your chaturanga. Scoop the heart up into your up dog or your baby cobra. And then press into those palms, curl the toes, guide the hips up and back, finding your down dog. Take a breath in and breath out. Ground out into that left foot. Elevate the right leg. Bend that right knee. Shift forward into a plank as you hug the right knee towards the chest. And then plant that right foot towards the right palm. Send energy through the left heel, stabilize those hips, and then inhale, scoop yourself up into a crescent lunge. Tailbones drawing down, pubic bones lifting up, shoulders are back and down, heart's lifting. Take a couple of breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And on your exhale, float the palms down to frame that right foot. Step back into your plank and come through your chaturanga. Scoop the heart up. Find your baby cobra or up dog. And then find your way back into your down dog. Take a breath in. Breath out. Ground out into that right foot. Lift the left leg up. Bend the left knee. Come forward into your plank as you hug the knee to the chest. And then plant the left foot close to that left palm. Ground down into those feet. Inhale. Rise up into your crescent. Shoulders back and down. Tailbone draws down. Pubic bone lifts up. And find space here in your breath. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, let the hands frame that left foot. Step back into your plank. And then go through your flow for your chaturanga to your baby cobra or up dog. And then to your down dog. Taking a breath in. And breath out. Shifting the gaze between the palms. Step or hop the feet up towards those hands. Inhale to find your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sit down into the chair behind you. Pull the navel center in and up. And either palms to the heart or palms overhead. And then press those legs up. Sweep the palms up overhead. And palms meet and lower to the heart. Beautiful. Take an inhale. And exhale. Grounding into those feet. Inhale, sweep the palms overhead. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, but step back into a down dog. We're going to get ready to set up to come into our pigeon pose. So from your down dog, send energy down into that left leg. Reach the right leg up as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the knee, hug it into the chest like we did to set up for crescent. Only now you're going to shift forward into plank and then find that right knee close to that right wrist. So rather than the foot, the knee is going to go there. Then you're going to slide back on that left leg. So now we're all going to be a little bit different setting up for this, okay? So for now, you're going to want to grab a block, potentially, or maybe you might just need a blanket. But just see where your hips are at. If you're rolling off to the right a lot, then you're going to want to come in and support your right thigh and your sit bone with a block. So you can have it on the lowest setting to help elevate the hips, because we're working to have the hips be balanced is what you want to feel. You don't want to feel you're rolling to one side or the other. So a block might be too much for some. You might just need to fold a blanket up and wedge a blanket right underneath the upper part of your thigh here, and then adjust yourself to where the hips can feel square. And then check to see that that left leg is straight out behind you. So the toes, the ankle, the knee are in all one line. And then wiggle yourself around to where you feel in alignment here. So hips are squared and balanced. This is generally an uncomfortable posture for many, so it takes some time to ease into the hip space. And now your right foot can flex toes towards nose, just to help protect the knee joint a little bit. So you can flex toes towards nose. Inhale, sweep the heart up like a proud pigeon, right? And then as you exhale, you're going to start to peel the belly button down. Now this is where you also might want to incorporate some additional props. So if you have props available, you can go ahead and take a block and position it to be able to just let the forehead relax down. Because you want to feel as comfortable as you can in a very uncomfortable posture for many as we open up into the hips. So you might be feeling sensations in the right glute area and the piriformis. You might be feeling it more in the front of the left hip with the stretch there. You might be feeling it everywhere around the hips, but try to relax the shoulders wherever you're finding the support with props for this posture. Check in to see if you're kind of rolling over to the outer part of that right hip and see if you can shift yourself back to feeling centered through your midline. And then just try and get yourself to relax. Finding deep belly breathing. Letting the breath just wash over you, soothe you and calm you. Notice if tension starts to arise in any other areas as you try to settle into the space. Sometimes the body wants to resist what we're trying to relax into. So just work with that breath, sending softening exhalations, soothing yourself. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. So just notice what might be coming up for you here. See if there's any negative thoughts that tend to want to creep in as we move into uncomfortable spaces. See if you can shift them, challenge yourself, come back to that sensation of pleasure of the breath, pleasure of that aroma at the beginning of class you were breathing in, the joy in being able to be gifted with this body to move around in and stretch and feel. And just taking one more breath in and breath out. And then slowly we're going to be very mindful as we start to ease our way out of this posture. So moving whatever props you had for the upper body out of the way, taking your time to find your way back up into the palms. Now shifting the props out of the way that may have been supporting the right thigh. Curling the toes, so your left toes underneath you now, and slowly start to pull the hips back, elevating the hips, and then now step that right foot back by the left, finding your way into a down dog. It might feel a little stiff and creaky, so just wiggle yourself around, bend one knee and the other, wiggle the hips around. If it feels good, you can reach the right leg nice and high. You can bend the knee, make some circles in different directions, and just let yourself really move through and flush out that right hip. Just let it all go. And then let the right foot find its way down to the mat. Find your way into down dog. Anchor into the right leg. Lift the left leg up nice and high. Bend that left knee and then shift the gaze forward and bring the left knee close to that left palm. And then slide back on that right leg, letting the top of the foot find its way to the mat. And then get yourself set up with some prop support if you need it on this side. So I did a block on the other side to just show you that. A blanket, this is a pretty thick blanket. A blanket might be all that some need, where you just slide it up and support your thigh. So notice my glutes are supported in the upper part of my thigh, just to help my hips feel more balanced and square here. I'm going to check over my shoulder. See that my right leg is one long line of energy behind me. Shoulders roll back and down. Left toes flex to nose. And I'm going to just see where it's comfortable to maybe walk the left foot forward a little bit to get a little deeper into the stretch. So everyone's going to feel different here with their hips. And then I'm going to go from here and draw the shoulders back and down. Inhale up into the heart. And then exhale is going to help me fold down and peel my way into this posture. And then using any props I might need to support my head here. Or for some of you, you might feel comfortable folding all the way down to the ground and resting the forehead on the back of the palms. So just see what setup you need here in these first couple of breaths, couple of moments, and then find your way relaxing into it, breath by breath, making sure the hips feel balanced, you're centered through your midline, shoulders are staying relaxed, The neck is soft. Muscles of the face are soft. And you're just easing your way into this, letting go of tension little by little, breath by breath. Taking 3 more long, slow breaths here. Just notice if you're tending to want to quicken the breath or hurry the breath, if you're feeling tension in the hips. And see if you can challenge yourself to control the breath here. Control your breath in an uncomfortable situation, right? This is a lesson to take off of the mat as well and into life. To notice when we get into a situation that makes us want to tense up or feel uncomfortable, to just learn to shift and focus inward on our breath, to calm, self-soothe, and relax so that we can stay at ease and not become so reactive or become tense. And now slowly taking your time, you're going to ease the upper body out first, moving any props out of the way, and then move any props you have supporting the lower body out of the way. And then slowly start to find the right toes curling underneath you, elevating the hips up a little bit. Start to pull them back as then you draw that left leg back and find your way into a down dog position, moving the legs around, moving the hips around, letting it all go, maybe elevating the left leg up, maybe softening that left knee, making some circles, and just letting everything flush on out of that left hip. Meeting your way back in down dog. Take an inhale and exhale. And then shift the gaze towards the top of the mat. Walk the feet up towards those hands. Find a forward fold here. And then inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then ground down into those feet. Inhale, rise up all the way, sweeping the palms up overhead. Palms meet. And then lower down to the heart space. And we'll just take a flow here to flush it out. So inhale, sweep the palms up overhead. Exhale, lead with the heart and forward fold. Inhale to find that halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back and find your plank. And then lowering those knees or shifting forward, coming down through your chaturanga. And then scooping the heart up. Tops the feet to the floor, finding your baby cobra or pressing all the way up into your up dog. And then gliding the hips up and back. Find your way into your down dog. Take a breath in and breath out. And then shift the gaze between the palms. Walk the feet up towards those hands, but keep the feet out nice and wide. So I'll turn this way for you. So hands are coming to the inside, feet are to the outside. You're going to sit your way down into malasana. So you may need to have a bolster or a block underneath your bum so you can feel like the hips can drop down, shoulders roll back and down, palms meet at heart center, pressing the elbows out into those inner thighs. You may not need the block. You may feel nice and open in your hips to then find that length in the spine, the lift in the heart. Breathing into this space, inhale. And exhale. Pressing energy into the outer edges of the feet, feeling the outer thighs even engage a little bit, wrapping the glutes to create some space for the low back to release down. Take one more breath in. And breath out. Then moving the block out of the way or prop that you might have supporting your sit bones, go ahead and lower the bum down to the mat. And then position yourself now so that you have a block available or a thick book. And put the book or block in between your knees, hands on either side of the hips. Roll the shoulders back and down. Come up onto your heels here. And now engage that block. So squeeze the inner thighs in the knees into the block. We're going to be taking this into Navasana. So lift up through the heart, lengthen the spine, and either keeping the heels rested on the earth and floating the palms here, or challenging yourself, really pulling the navel center in and up, rocking back slightly on those sit bones, lifting the legs, breathing here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Keep lifting up into that spine, grounding down to those sit bones, engage that block. Another breath in. Full breath out. We're going to come into a nice restful posture after this, so really challenge yourself here. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more breath in. And breath out. Go ahead and relax those heels if they're not down already. Bring the block out and off to the side. Now, actually, you may want to keep that handy because you might need 2 blocks or 2 big stacks of books. We're going to come into a Supta Baddha Konasana. So blocks would come to either side of those knees. This is where you'll want to use your yoga bolster. So if you have a bolster, butt the short edge up towards your bum and extend it out behind you. And then you may want a blanket or a pillow for your head. If you don't have a bolster, that's okay. You can now use a blanket and either wrap it around a pillow to give it some support and tighten it up a little bit, because a lot of pillows tend to be a little bit too fluffy. But I'm just going to take this blanket. It's a pretty thick yoga blanket, and I'm going to roll it up, making it into like a Tootsie Roll, but a pretty long Tootsie Roll. So if you'll see, it's quite long. I'm going to position that now with the length of my spine. So short edge towards my spine. My blocks are here because they're there to support the knees. I'm going to peel my way back to come lying out onto my makeshift bolster. And now I might want a little bit more elevation for my head. So if it's uncomfortable with the head relaxing back, put a pillow underneath it or something so your neck feels comfortable, or even another yoga block. And then your soles of the feet are going to come together, and then the knees relax open onto some support, or potentially you might not need the support here. You could potentially do this without the blocks. So it depends on what range of motion's available through your hips. That's also going to gauge the relationship, the distance between your groin and your heels. So you can pull the heels in closer or have them a little bit further away. So lots of variations and options here. And now you're going to walk the shoulders in towards the spine and down towards the hips with the palms face up. And then just relax here. So we were just in pigeon pose a moment ago, which was meant to challenge you to move into an uncomfortable space and find ease in it with the breath. But now we're in a posture that's meant to be very restorative, very comfortable, very nurturing. To just feel held in a space where you can completely relax and feel at peace and at ease. Melting breath by breath, focusing the breath into the belly. And as you exhale, feel a rippling relaxation floating from the belly outward, just softening and releasing. Taking one more breath here. And then take the hands to the outside of the thighs, and now press the thighs back together using the hands. Feet are resting on the earth, and just moving the blocks or books out of the way. And then extending one arm overhead, and then rolling towards that arm to roll off of your blankets or your bolsters to find a fetal position, and then just reach behind you and shift that bolster or blanket or whatever you were using out of the way, and then roll onto your backs once more. So now you're on your backs again, knees bent, feet resting on the floor. Separate the feet so that they're mat distance apart. Make your arms into goalpost arms or out to a T, and then slowly, just windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Actually, my blocks are still in the way, so I'm going to push those down. But just slowly rotate from side to side, releasing, easing into the low back. Softening here. And then start to find your way into center and then walk the feet together. And then now lift the hips slightly off the mat and send them over to the right as you let the knees fall to the left, taking a spinal twist here. So knees are to the left. You can let your gaze rotate and look to the right. Make sure the shoulders are back and down and just relax and ease your way into this twist. Taking 2 more breaths. And then slowly draw the knees back up into center. And then shift the hips now slightly over to the left as you let the knees fall to the right. And let your gaze look to the left, easing into the twist on this side now. Every exhale, letting a little softening come in. Melting into it, unwinding. And then slowly bring the feet back and the knees back up towards the ceiling. And then now go ahead and extend the left leg out long and pull the right knee in. Interlace the fingers around the right shin. And then now draw the leg around the outside of the torso on the right. Hug the knee in towards the right armpit. Take an inhale. Exhale, hug it in a little bit tighter, using just the interlaced fingers to apply pressure onto that shin. Everything else is relaxed. Use every exhale to pull it in a little bit tighter. Inhaling. Send that inhale into the belly too. And then exhale, draw it in. 1 more breath. And then go ahead and release that right leg long out onto the mat. And then once it touches, pull the left leg in. Interlace the fingers around the shin. Bring that left thigh around the outside of the torso and then hug it back in towards the torso. So left knee coming towards that left armpit. Take an inhale. Exhale, hug it in tight. Inhale. And exhale. Couple more breaths. Every exhale, squeezing it in a little bit deeper towards the body. And then go ahead and release that left leg long onto the mat. Feel all that fresh energy flushing around and moving through the hips. And then get yourself set up for your final Shavasana meditation. So walk the shoulders in and down, maybe take the feet, separate them apart, maybe rock a little bit through the femur bones, your upper thigh bones, moving the whole leg back and forth. Turn the palms face up and just get yourself set up to feel comfortable here. You might want to cover yourself with a blanket. Maybe you want to put some pillows underneath your knees if you feel any sort of pulling sensation in your low back when you're laying flat on the floor. And just let everything go. Once you take these first few moments here to get yourself set up and get yourself comfortable, try to do so as seamlessly and quickly as possible to then just surrender into this beautiful state of relaxation, where now your body gets to absorb all the benefits of the practice as you let go of the body and transcend into a different space of soul growth and awareness. Feel yourself soften through each one of the toes, the feet and the ankles. Relax through the calves, the back of the knees and the thighs. Release across the hips and down into each one of the glutes. And relax and soften through the low back, the mid back and the upper back. Letting that relaxation wash around you and pool into the heart space, soothing your heart, softening the shoulders and melting down the arms and off the ends of each fingertip. Relax the neck and soften the throat. Release through the jaw. And relax all the muscles of the face, around the mouth, around the eyes, and across the forehead. Feeling completely at peace and at ease here in your body, melting into the earth. Go ahead and start to reawaken each one of your fingers and your toes. Just moving them around, exploring sensation, exploring your body. Taking whatever other movements are calling to you right now. Maybe reaching the arms long overhead, taking a full body stretch, reaching yourself apart. And then exhaling, softening back down into the floor. And then bending the knees and rolling over onto one side to the fetal position. Slowly press your way up from the seated position and then find your way into a comfortable seat. Letting the eyes be closed, let that focus be inward still. Within me is the secret place of the Most High. Within me is the presence and the power and the will to know and to do and to be. There is nothing in me that can deny this statement or refuse to accept it. There is nothing in me that can limit me. My memory is of one of happiness. My anticipation is one of joy. My experience is one of pleasure. Reaching the fingertips out wide to either side of the hips. Turn the palms face up. Inhale, sweep the palms up overhead. Press the palms together and exhale to the heart. And repeating that again. Inhale, sweep the palms out wide to either side. Press the palms together and exhale to the heart. Thumb knuckles resting on the sternum. Sternum lifting towards the thumb knuckles. Taking a breath in, breathing in that white light. Breath out. Feeling all of that white light energy emanating and surrounding you in your presence of power, your presence of peace, your presence of joy, your presence of pleasure. It has been an absolute honor and a blessing to serve you in your practice today. The good and the love and the light in me witnesses, honors, and acknowledges all of that good and that love and that light in you. Namaste.